Hi everybody, this is Ellie. Thanks so much for joining me today for a video where I set up the month of September in my B6 Sterling Ink Common Planner. It has been a while. I have missed you guys and I've missed filming, but I've been doing okay. I had a teaching contract to start last year and it was fun and busy, and I wasn't really doing anything new in my planner. And I'm still not, to be honest with you. So last year I used the same planner, the Sterling Ink Academic Year. Oh, last year's was actually vertical. This year I'm trying horizontal. So this is a completely spontaneous video actually. I needed to set up September and I thought maybe I'll dust off the old tripod and try filming again. So I haven't covered anything up. I do hope to go ahead and film a little flip through of just how I've set up the whole thing and how I'm using it, but spoiler alert, if you followed me for a while, it won't be anything new to you. But today I'm just going to go in and set up September in the blank pages. So basically what I'm doing is I'm using the horizontal spreads right now for memory keeping, and I'm doing my version of bullet journaling in the blank pages. And it's been working really well for me, so I figured I would try the new layout this year just for something a little fresher. But the bones of my planning system have remained the same. This is in a custom Bujoplanner cover from a few years ago now. It's black on black on black, and it's held up really well, and I am loving it. September 1st always feels like the start of fall. I think it's because it's back to school. I know it's not seasonally the first day of fall yet, but we have been having a little bit of cooler weather here in the Toronto area, which has been really nice because we had so many heat waves this summer. I am not starting the year in a contract this year. I'm hoping to maybe pick one up midway through the year, but for right now, I'm going to do daily supply, and I know that will be fun and busy. So something I started doing in 2025 is making title pages again, just because it's fun. And maybe I'll do a reel or something just to flip through the ones that I have, but this will be September's. Here was August's. And July. I really like this one with the strawberry doodles. That was inspired by a washi tape from Paper Bits Co. So let's get started with that. I have this old stencil from Amazon. I get asked about it sometimes when I share, but I haven't seen it sold there in a long time. I think at one point Allie Brown had a similar one, and Do Not Microwave Crafts did as well. So obviously this is small, but I just look at this and play around until I get roughly the same shape. And then I like to doodle inside based on my washi tape palettes for the month. This tray is something I thrifted years ago. I've never found another one like it, unfortunately, but it has all these great compartments. And I have started doing monthly color palettes again. This is something I did years ago and I loved it. And then I got away from that and went very minimal, kind of black Fudenosuke pen and just black ballpoint pen. But I have been playing around with colors more and it's been a lot of fun. So my color for the month is going to be this Tombow 026 for September. And these are the washi tapes I'll be using. So these two are from Audrey Okea. These two are from Note and Wish. And this one here is from Salam Creative. So I've had all of these for a while now. I'm not sure if they're available, but you can see they all pick up that kind of yellow gold and some leaves, some sunflowers, some daisies. It just all feels like that beautiful transition from summer to fall. So I am going to just do a version of these leaves doodled in here. I thought about the sunflowers, but I tried a little sketch one and it did not look great. And I think it would look super busy. So this is just simple. One of the things I think that's come from not filming or posting as much is that I've put a little less pressure on myself to make it aesthetic. Not that I was intentionally putting any pressure on myself. I never was, but if you know you're going to share something, or at least if I know I'm going to share something, I do sometimes want it to look a certain way, and that's something I have been working on. So these are just fun. They are what they are. It's not like I'm staring at this every day. I can always flip the page and go from there. So I actually think I'm going to outline it first. I will say I know that Tomoe River paper has had a year. It has been interesting to see the batches of paper that have gone out and the issues that people are dealing with. My last year's Sterling ink planner held up pretty well to inks and Tombos and the Funosuke pens. This batch of paper in this particular planner is not great. So I have found some bleed through. I'm just carrying on anyways because it's here. I have it. I'm going to use it, but we'll see how these little leaves work out. Some areas in the planner are better than others, so we'll see. But my trusty Staedtler fine liner has been bleeding through more than it ever has before, so fun times. If you are new here, I do hold my pen in an untraditional way. It basically looks like I am gripping it in a death grip, and I mean, I kind of am. I've always written like this. I can do the correct grip, but I don't because it's not comfortable for me. So I know that my grip's a little wonky, and it might be funny if you haven't seen it before. And there we go. We have kind of our typeface number 9 for September. And I'm just going to use these colors here to draw in some very simple leaves. This is a much darker, or maybe, well, darker and also just kind of more saturated color than I tend to use. And I don't know how I'll feel about that, but that's okay. It just goes so well with the washi tapes that I chose. And I always have to remind myself that in my pages, less is more for me. So I'll just start with a few scattered around, I think. This is the Tombow 992. This is actually going to be my color for October, I think. I don't usually plan out my palettes ahead of time, but turns out I have somehow collected a lot of fall washi tapes, so I just wanted to make sure I had a chance to use them. So here they have some leaves overlapping. I don't know how I feel about that, but that's okay. 991 here, the light yellow. That mile liner I used was from, I think, one of the new sets, which is my favorite set of mile liners that I've gotten so far. That's looking nice. I'm wondering, let me grab this. Okay, I haven't tested this one out. Another mile liner from that set, but this blue gray might be soft and pretty. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, good. And I think I'm going to call it there. So just a few falling leaves. Let's see how it went behind. It's not terrible. I prefer much less shadowing and bleed through, but we move on. I've already written September with a pencil and I still like how that looks, so I'll just go over it here. Yeah, I like that better. I just did the curve a little better. I'm tempted to outline these, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it for now so that it doesn't look too busy for me. Okay, so now I can get rid of these extra combos I had out so I don't accidentally use the wrong yellow. And we can move on to the next spread. I will erase the pencil marks later, but I'll just wait so that it can be completely dry. This breast clip is from Nicole Josephine, so just using that there. And let me grab this guy here. This is a tip I learned ages ago from a user on Facebook, and it just helps you get clean lines with your Tombows, your highlighters, your pens, whatever you're using. So I just use my color of the month to do my headers here. This isn't going to work well. I'm a little bit squashed for space. It's okay. Okay, that's a little messy, but we'll carry on. I can always tell if I haven't used a Tombow as much because my frequently used Tombows, the tips are flexible enough that it fills in the space of an entire square. It also could have been the awkward way I was doing it though, so let's see how this one goes. This isn't sticky enough to be effective. Great. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. I shouldn't do that because that'll definitely make it bleed through. So I have been setting up a content consumed page, which has been fun. It's a fun way to use my little icons and also to just track what I have been watching, reading, listening to in a month. So I took this idea from Helen from the Coffee Monsters Co. and made myself a little key ring with her little washi icons. So I just tabbed the categories that made sense for me, and let's go ahead and put these on. So far we have reading, TV shows, and movies. And then I also have music, podcasts, and YouTube. So YouTube is if I'm watching a new to me channel or any specific videos that really stick out to me. And I'm actually going to finish a sheet there, which is always very satisfying. I'm always on the lookout for new podcasts. So if anyone is listening to something that they're really enjoying, please do feel free to share. I've actually mostly just been listening to baseball content this summer. So as the season is slowly reaching, well, the end of the regular season, podcast recommendations would be very welcome. So this is my content consumed page, and this is my Calendex, where I will just write down little point form, not even point form, basically just a handful of words about the day to kind of give me that sense of time and place. So we've got 30 days in September, and I will go ahead and number those. And then I'll just go in with my pencil and write down the letter for what day of the week it is. It's always satisfying when a month starts on a Monday, isn't it? I used to do this with the thin tip here. I really like this gray color. To me, it looks almost exactly like the pencil leads that I use. But again, with this paper, it's been a little more finicky. So I'm just going to do it with an actual pencil. I always do an R for Thursdays. That's something that's left over. Look at this. I said R, I wrote R. I will save my explanation for when I'm done. Okay, as I was trying to say, the R is left over from my undergraduate days. That's how they always distinguished Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I just kept that habit. So what I will do here is I will usually just line this up so that it starts at the same spot. I think this is it. Oh, this is in pencil, so I can always erase. Do that there. Yeah, it was one too low. And I do like to highlight here just so that it's easier for me to track. It's honestly not necessary. So I am going to grab a new Post-it here because if it doesn't stick here, then it's not effective. now I'm going to write the month. I'm going to use the Pentel Energel Clenna. I think I'll use the 0.4 though. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use the 0.3 because since I'm going on top of the ink, it'll probably be a little bit juicier than if it was just right on the paper. So the month is September. Once I'm done my setup, I will come back through and I'll put washi tape on the bottom of this page. And what I do for my Calendex is at the end of the month, I'll print out 4 mini photos here with my Canon Ivy. Just things from that month, big, small, might be selfies, it might be a picture of some delicious baked good I ate. And it's fun to flip through after the fact. So let's go to the next spread, which is my gratitude tracker. Another very simple setup, but this has been an effective spread for me this year. It's hard to listen to the news and to see what's happening in the world and around us, and I have found that one small thing I can do for myself is to keep track of daily gratitude. So that is something that I have been doing, not always as consistently as I would like, but anything is better than nothing. So I do like to put in a spread for that. Yeah, these darker colors don't blend together as well when you kind of have a rough go there, but that's okay. So for this one, all I do is number 1 through whatever the month is, so 1 through 30. I used to also write the letter for the day of the week underneath it, but I found that actually made it a little busier than I wanted. And this one isn't, like, it's not really an index that I go back and revisit. I have sometimes, but it's mostly, this one's mostly for the process at the moment. One of the things I do enjoy doing is writing a quote that has something to do with gratitude or that kind of feeling. So I just have one here from Winnie the Pooh today. And I used to enjoy writing my quotes with fountain pen in here, but I have found that the Zebra Sarasa Mark-On is my best bet for getting that thicker black line without a lot of bleed through. So this one says, Piglet noticed that even though he had a very small heart, it could hold a rather large amount of gratitude. So let me give myself some help with spacing. So basically I have 2 lines for each one, and I just write, I am grateful for, and then whatever I'm grateful for, it might be something small, like, you know, a cold ginger ale, or it might be something more meaningful, like something specific a friend or loved one said or did. So it runs the gamut, which is how I like it. So I will put washi tape down here as well, maybe around here. Okay, so this is kind of the space that I'm working with. I'm not too fussy about this, honestly. I think I'll start here. And I planned on writing this all in the same kind of lettering style, but it's not going to take up as much space as I thought. So let's try maybe to play around with another style within it. See, normally here with a different style, I'd like to use a different pen, a Fudenosuke or something, but no, let's not even bother risking it. This is bad spacing. Oh well, onward. Guess I'll make these narrow and hope for the best. Okay, that's not bad. You know what? Let's just use the Fudenosuke. I want gratitude to stand out. And the quote has it with a capital G, so that is what I will have as well. Like that. Okay, not bad. And then I will use my finest fine liner here for the name. And dare we see what it looks like on the back. Oh, not bad at all. Not bad at all. There's actually no bleed through there, so that makes me glad. So let's just write September up here. I better move this. Because of the way I hold my pen in that aforementioned death grip, the other issue is that my hand is always touching the page. So it leads to a lot of smearing if I'm not very mindful of it. And it also means that a lot of pens, especially gel pens, don't work for me because they skip since I'm getting my hand oils all over the page. So there's that. So here I just write September on the one side because it is a 2-page spread. And the last spread I will do is something I just started last month actually, and it is creating a monthly calendar. So back when I used to bullet journal in a Leuchtturm, I did that all the time. I did that every month because I had to. And then there was a year where I used the paper test designs, which was great for me because the monthly pages were embedded with the weeklies. And I really like that because even though this should not and is not actually a big deal, if the month is at the front, I just don't flip back and forth. I never have. I thought maybe I'd get used to it. And I will if I really have to check something, but I don't use it freely when it's at the front of my planner. So I thought maybe if I just put one in my pages, it would let me have that freedom, and it did. I really enjoyed it in August, so I will try it again for September. And this works out well too because I use this more for forward planning. So I go in at the beginning of the year, I'll put in birthdays, I'll put in holidays. As I schedule appointments, I'll come and I'll put them in here. But that's kind of all they've been used for. So I might play around and think about if this could have another use for me, but if not, totally fine as is. And what was nice about this, like in the Leuchtturm, I had to do my own measurements, figure out the size of the calendar, and so forth. Here, I'm just doing it exactly to the same specifications they have, which is 8 across and 7 down. And that works out great, makes it much easier for me. So I have actually already gone through and mocked it up. I thought I would be brave and try and just do it here on camera. We'll see. I actually think this could lead to some mistakes, but that's okay. It is not meant to be perfect. So, okay, I can still see the lines there. I was wondering why I did it that way. So I have to be careful here because it cuts up at the bottom. So I just have to make sure not to draw those extra lines. And here I will use this pen. So wish me luck. This is a ruler, I'm sure you can tell from, oh, it says it right there, from the Coffee Monsters Co. So it's great in the B6 size. Actually, I'm not going to be able to do it like that. So we'll go this way and it's coming up here. A lot of people don't like making calendars, and I get it. I actually like it quite a bit as long as I have the time to do it. If I feel like I'm in a rush, then it's annoying. And oh, if I'm doing a bunch at once. This year and last year, actually, I've been using an A6 notebook as a journal, and it's just a notebook. So there are no calendars, and I thought I wanted to put them in. Well, I did at the time. Have I used them? I think one. I've used one for sticker a day memory keeping, but drawing 12 at once was not my favorite. Okay, I think that's right. And now we will do our horizontal lines. So I should have told you at the outset to make sure you had your own planner or something with you, because this is just kind of a calm video where nothing much is happening. So someone actually introduced me to the term body doubling on one of my videos, which I had never heard before. I do all the time. I just never realized that there was a name for it, for kind of having someone there or on in the background to kind of keep you company while you're doing your own planning or journaling or whatever it is you're up to. So that was really lovely to realize that as much as I enjoy doing that with other people, some people get that out of my videos as well. At least that was my understanding of it. That was a while ago, so hopefully that is what that means. Okay, so here, this one is just the 2 days. And then we go, yes, here, perfect. The last couple of years, I have started this school year in a contract, and I actually really enjoy it because it's nice to set up as I mean to go on instead of joining a class that is already well into its routines and try and kind of merge my style and approach into that. That can also be great too, because it gives me so many opportunities just to get new ideas and see how other educators are doing things. But it's a little strange this year not to be starting September in a classroom, but it's also working out well for me because I have to have just a little eye procedure done at the end of the month. And this way I don't have to worry about it interrupting anything or how long the recovery will take. So we've got that done. I'm going to have to erase all of these marks. I got a little desk vacuum, which is obviously like a gimmick and a gadget, but my goodness, do I love it. It is just so handy when I get all of these eraser shavings everywhere. So it's one of those little things that makes my life easier. Now I'm going to go ahead and just do a header for each day of the week. I'll have to go and erase better after maybe. So we've got Monday. I don't use the Post-it here because it would take forever. And I will go ahead and write in the numbers. So I always do the Mondays first. That way if I get off track, it's not by more than a week. So Monday is 1, 8, 15, 22, and 29. Yes. I'm not sure why I went from 20 to 22, but this 22 made me catch it right away. So there we go. Just a little whiteout correction tape there. Perfect. 22, 23. Well, now that I've talked about my little vacuum, this is it. It's got some cute little eyes as well. It did pick everything up. This is all just like schmutz that's on my desk. I've never actually had a desk mat before, but when I got this new to me desk that I am currently using, I ordered one, and my goodness, am I glad that I did, because this is a cream desk and the amount of ink stains that I have somehow gotten here is a lot more than I thought. So the extra level of protection is very welcome. So that is done. Let's do our headers. So just kind of try and center it a little bit as best I can. Perfect. And I actually think I am going to use these stamps to stamp out September. I am a very tedious stamper because I am not good at it. But my friend Maria at A Papery Life told me that she uses a pencil board under and it helps. So she actually gave me this one as well. It was an A5 and I cut it down to be an A6 size. So I'm going to clip it here. The ink also goes through and is very shadowy sometimes, but that's fine. So that's to clean. This is to ink it. It's this ink here. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And what I actually do is I'll just do the first ink here and the second ink on the page, which gives it a kind of imperfect, vintagey feel, which I don't really care about that one way or another, whether it's full ink or not. I just care that it doesn't bleed right through. Shadowing, heavy shadowing I can handle, but dark bleeding, not so much. So the S is going to go S-E. T-E-M-B-E-R. No, just the S is going to go here and then I'll go over, and I do one at a time because, like I said, not a pro inker here. I should put something under here too, but I'm not going to. So we'll see how that goes. So we've got the S. And we're off. I won't subject you guys to this. Okay, and there's September all stamped out. I don't know if I mentioned, but these are old stamps from Ali Brown. I'm not sure if her shop is still open, but I enjoy those. And I'm going to go ahead and put down my washi tapes, and that's going to pretty much be the end of the setup. So let's see which washi tapes we want. Here I think I'll use this one because it's a thicker space. This I leave blank for the photos. One goes here and one here. I'm just waiting for this to dry, so let's do this one first maybe. I think these happy sunflowers are it. Yeah, and I want it with the ripped edge. Do I want it all the way? No. I want it to line up about here. Just using a palette knife there to rip that. And that is a tip I picked up from Guentert-Baldo. Oh yeah, this is such a happy washi tape. I don't use, like I said, vibrant colors as often as I use the lighter, more neutral ones, so it's fun to see it in here. Cute. Put this in. And what are we thinking for here? I just did a flower one. I think I'll do this leaf one here. I'll do the ripped edges on all of them now. This is so nitpicky, but I usually only like the ripped edge on the outer side of the pages, and where I feel like it's kind of connecting across, I like to leave the straight edge. September is, I already mentioned this, but it's the last month of regular season baseball, and my Blue Jays have done surprisingly well so far, although they're starting to tail off. So it will be an intense month, and I'm excited to watch and see what happens. I have been keeping up with my baseball tracker, and fingers crossed that I get to make a playoff edition. So we've got that, and then this Salon Creative one. So this one, because it's not crossing over, can be ripped on both edges. Do you have any weirdly specific planner habits like that you do? Oh, and the last thing I will do is I have a monthly color palette that I keep track of. So that is just right here. So I just doodled this in, including this washi tape. And these stickers here are from Planner Monkey Co. Oh no. right. I mean, not terrible. And then what I do here is, these are the colors I use. So I did this last year and I thought it was super cute, but I only did it for 6 months. Here, let me grab it. Here. See, I thought that turned out so fun. Also, if you want to see an example, I use the exact same marker here. And that is the amount of bleed through I had, which was none. On this one, look at that. Oops. But from what I've heard, they've made changes and it should be better. So fingers crossed, all of you who are getting it this year will have to let me know. Okay, you know what? Let's do a line across. This is going to be a very dominant color probably for the entire year. So let's maybe just follow the grid lines here. So we've got 2. Although, you know what? I'm going to have to put it up here too, because there we go. Yeah, that definitely adds some fall to this. 0, 26. There we go. Oh, and then we have the index here. So September starts on 55. So this is my simple setup for the month of September. Got my title page, my content consumed, my calendex, my gratitude spread, and my calendar. We'll head right here into a little weekly overview and the dailies. I'm really glad I set up the camera and actually filmed this, because I have missed making videos and chatting with you guys and just hearing what everybody's up to. So feel free to leave a comment. Let me know how you've been doing. I know it's Hobonichi season and people are choosing their planners for next year. So if you have yours chosen, feel free to let us know. Since this carries right over, I actually don't have any decisions to make. I will probably still stay with a plain notebook for my journal, but maybe I'll do a little lineup video as well. Let me know if that's something that you'd like or anything else you'd like to see from me. I probably still won't be on here super regularly, but I am going to try and get on here at least a little bit more. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you next time.